All right, guys, so today we are going to go over some of our best practices when we're using chains during weightlifting. All right, so in our gym, we have on the wall right here a list that lists out exactly how much each chain weighs. We also have them all color-coded. Down at the very bottom, one of the bottom links, you'll see a little piece of tape. We've got red, blue, green, black, white, yellow, and then all of the corresponding weights are over here. So first and foremost, right over in the corner here, you're gonna find these carabiners. All right, so we've got our carabiners with a chain already attached. We have two sets. One is gonna be the yellow and one is gonna be the black. So the yellow is gonna be 1 pound each. That's gonna add 2 pounds of chain weight. And the other is gonna be black, which is 2 pounds each. That'll add 4 pounds of chain weight. So for these, you always wanna make sure that you put this chain over the barbell, okay? We're gonna go over exactly how to do that, but you're gonna put the chain over the barbell and then you're going to hook upside down on this carabiner any of your chain weight that is hanging. What you don't wanna do is do it the opposite way. You don't want to put the chain or the carabiner over the barbell and then it continue to add on, and now you just have these little 1 pound or 2 pound chains doing absolutely nothing for you. So what I'll do is I'll take whichever ones that I need, either my, depending on how much weight I need, depending on how many people are working in, either the 2 pound set or the 4 pound set. I'm gonna take that out and then I'm gonna start grabbing what I need for chain. So like I said, these are all labeled. Blue is gonna be 5 pounds. So if I know I need 20 pounds of chain weight, and then give or take, depending on what carabiner I have, I'm gonna grab 4 of the blues, but I can also kind of mix and match any way that I need to. Really important is when we go to put these back, we wanna make sure that we don't overload our hook system here, okay? So like this one right here looks a little overloaded. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put no more than about 10 pounds on each hook. So that can be 2 blues, it can be, we can even go like 2 of the reds, those are 6 pounds each, go up to 12 pounds, that's okay. But we just wanna make sure that A, they're organized, and B, we're not overloading. So I'm just gonna really quick take a look over here. So I've got a red and a blue right here. So I'm gonna take this off. I'm gonna add this blue to that one. So I know I've got 10 pounds there. I can't even find the other red right now. Oh, here it is. Okay, so my other red is right here. So I'm gonna add my red with my red, my blues with my blues. All right, so putting the equipment away, taking the equipment out, it all matters. It's all a part of it. It's what keeps the longevity of our equipment going. If we're, slamming these around and mixing them all up and, breaking the hooks, we really just want to be careful of stuff like that. So we're going to make sure that we put stuff away kind of how we found it. And don't forget with these chains, you can add weight. So I know that we have only one 10 pound, right? This one, okay, so the white. So I know that this chain here is 10 pounds, but we only have one of these. But I also know that I have a green 8 pound hanging around, and I have, it's hanging back here somewhere, and I have an extra 2 pounds. So I've got my 2 pound, my 8 pound, and I have my 10 pound. Put 10 pounds on one side, 8 and 2 on the other side. It'll equal out, all right? So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna bring it on over to the barbell and we're gonna see how we set this up. All right, so now that I have the bar set up, I've got my bench set up. I'm showing the bench only because we do have bench press in the workout that we're doing today. So I already had some of this set up, but this applies regardless of if you're doing bench press, squats, doesn't really matter. It all has the same concept, and we're gonna go over a few of those things here. So first and foremost, again, like I was talking about, we've got our carabiner and the chain that's already hooked up on this, okay? There we go. So just like this. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna open up the carabiner. I'm gonna take my chain, bring it right on through. So there's one. All right, trying to make them a little bit even. Here's 2, okay? So now I've got this chain weight here. I'm gonna stick it on the bar. And as you can see, it's just touching the ground here, okay? It is bench, so it's gonna be a little bit more on the ground to start when it is in the rack position. But if you're doing squats, or if you're doing bench, you just want to make sure that you're not starting with too much or not enough on the ground, okay? So I usually go by just touching the ground is fine. A little bit of it pulled up down there is also fine. So the goal here is when we are pulling this weight down to our chest today, more of that chain falls down onto the floor. And then as we're pushing that bar up from our chest, we're lifting more of those chains, more weight on the way up through those sticking points. If for any reason you find that the chain is not hitting the ground enough, you could always take a 25 or a 35-pound plate, get it right underneath here, and then that way that chain is not touching all the way to the ground, but it's a little bit elevated up on a platform there, okay? If you want to add straight weight, which is the weight that we put on the bar, so we've got our chain weight here. If we want to add straight weight to the bar, all you got to do is take the chain off, put your plate on, and then put the chain right back on. All right, so just like that. You can do it so that you put the chain on the inside of the barbell. We're okay with that too, as long as it's not getting in the way of re-racking this bar. All right, and then of course when we're done, we're gonna take everything apart. So we're gonna take this off, turn our carabiner upside down, pull it out, carabiner goes back on the hook, and then like I was talking about, we wanna make sure that we put our weights away kind of in the same way that we found them. No more than about 10 to 12 pounds per hook, and also just make sure that they're in somewhat of an organized order, going from the 5s all the way back up, all right? I hope this helped. Let me know if it does, and if you ever have any questions, just ask the team leader.